Grace and peace be with you, friends. My name is Ed Johnson, pastor at White Memorial Presbyterian Church in Willow Spring, and also chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, which is a subcommittee responding to the coordinating body. Thank you again for the opportunity to provide an update regarding our Presbytery search for our next mid-council leader. The coordinating body, along with various committees and commissions, are getting very excited, friends. Very excited as we enter into this next phase of this process. While there have been several meetings and phone calls to ensure that the correct polity is followed in good and decent order, and that due diligence has been taken carefully, there are a few items that are necessary to bring before you all in these coming weeks, especially at our called meeting on April 26th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. As a gentle reminder, please be sure to elect your elder representative commissioners and follow up with your registration for this important gathering in the life of our presbytery. You can find the registration link in the latest edition of the Presbytery e-News. Thank you, first of all, to the many chairs of these participating committees and commissions, as well as, and most importantly, thank you to the Presbytery staff. They continue to do a yeoman's job in the midst of these adjustments with patience and grace, all the while working with the various committees and commissions. As a reminder, our goal during this interim period is to provide recommendations regarding our next mid-council leadership position, helping to shepherd the presbytery via the coordinating body in this process. So here's where we are, friends. Many of you throughout our presbytery were able to participate in the Holy Cow Consulting Group's landscape assessment this last December. And thank you again for your participation. And in January, the coordinating body, along with the chairs of various committees and commissions and invited guests, were able to hear the final results of the landscape assessment from our consultant. After meeting with the coordinating body and various members of our commissions and committees, along with the consultant staff, the Strategic Planning Committee developed a list of qualifications for the next mid-council leader and sent this to the Presbytery's elected search committee, chaired by Reverend Dr. Katie Crow of Trinity Avenue Presbyterian Church in Durham. The landscape assessment, along with the 2014 Pentecost Project, coupled together with the various qualifications delineated from these recommendations, will make for a strong, responsive plan regarding our next mid-council leader and the work ahead of them and the presbytery staff in direct response to the needs of the presbytery. As a reminder, these qualifications and assessments are framed around New Hope Presbytery's mission, our core values, as well as our principles of agreement from 1987. Yes, friends, these qualifications lists is a list among lists, and a high bar has been set. But there is also the recommendation and understanding that our executive presbyter, our next executive presbyter, will be one of Christ's disciples, a human, frail and fallible, who will be remarkably gifted to do a few things incredibly well, and who then will understand through time our presbytery in all of its strengths and weaknesses, and to serve with energy, intelligence, imagination, and love. Through the collaborative support and approval from the Personnel Committee, the Finance and Property Committee, the Strategic Planning Committee, the Search Committee, as well as the coordinating body and the presbytery staff, it is recommended that there be two positions, an executive presbyter and a stated clerk. The rationale for the separation of these two positions is to support the workload of the executive presbyter position and the expectations therein, as well as that of the stated clerk. Friends, one of the hardest positions to be in historically has been having one position and the need for wearing two hats. These positions require gifts and talents that are unique to each position and as understood historically through previous position holders, as well as discussions with other position holders on a national level with other presbyteries. It is recommended to best support each position with the responsibilities and expectations separately. By separating the two positions, this allows the personnel the necessary flexibility to respond to the needs of the presbytery as revealed and requested in the 2014 Pentecost Project, as well as the latest Holy Cow landscape assessment. Therefore, this brings us, firstly, to the recommended change to the presbytery's bylaws and a motion thereof. It is recommended that the bylaws be amended specifically in Article 2.4 to say, stated clerk, the presbytery may elect the executive presbyter to the office of stated clerk for a term of 4 years, concurrent with the terms of call as executive presbyter. The stated clerk of the presbytery may succeed self in office. This is a change in wording from shall to may. As this has been approved through the coordinating body, the body authorized to make this change, it is important to note, however, that the presbytery has the power to revoke and can do that at any time. But in the spirit of an interest in transparency, friends, the coordinating body is taking this time to communicate this recommendation and amendment. Secondly, there will be a motion to concur in the separation of the two positions. This is purely for the purpose of establishing a vote of confidence from the presbytery in that the effort of making the separation real will be blessed by the presbytery as the five-body effort continues to move forward. It is important to note, however, that revocation cannot happen at this called meeting, but at any stated gathering, per the bylaws. Only the business announced can happen at the called meeting. Thirdly, as a point of updates, the Personnel Committee is working diligently towards the hiring of a temporary interim stated clerk. The Personnel Committee will be bringing their recommendations to the coordinating body in the coming months and then to the floor of the presbytery of our July gathering for the greater body's approval. And lastly, the MIF has been received, reviewed, and recommended by the Presbytery Search Committee in concert with the Commission on Ministry and the coordinating body for release. Of course, this will be based on the outcome of our called gathering on the 26th. Yes, friends, as I have stated earlier, there is a great deal of excitement within and for our presbytery. Yes, the qualifications list is a list among lists, and a high bar has been set. But God will provide. God will provide through God's understanding that our next executive presbyter will be one of Christ's disciples, a human, frail and fallible, who will be remarkably gifted to do many great things incredibly well for our presbytery, and who will, through time, understand our presbytery in all of its strengths and weaknesses, and most especially to serve with energy and intelligence, imagination and love. Thank you again to the planning team, the coordinating body, the various committees and commissions, and most especially to the staff for their continued support and spirit of openness towards this process. I look forward to being with you on April 26th at 7 p.m., if not before. Grace and peace be with you all.